Hi, I'm Ricky from Thinking Focus, and I'm going to take you through a brief demo of what would you do online. What would you do was born out of a customer challenge. They wanted their frontline managers to have more meaningful and engaging conversations and to be able to nip issues in the bud before they escalate. Poor management costs businesses millions. In fact, one HR director recently shared that 3 people issues cost them over £100,000 to resolve, yet all of them could have been avoided had managers intervened earlier. People don't leave organisations, they leave managers. The practical application of learning is needed to help managers manage more effectively. Organisations just like yours invest millions in learning and development, only to see it go down the drain. When new learning is not practically applied, it's virtually lost within a week. There are 2 roles. There's the facilitator, who runs the session, manages the conversation, and coaches the group. And then there's the player who takes an active part in the learning experience. What would you do works with any online meeting tool. Ideally, it works best when you've got the cameras on, microphones active, and the ability for the facilitator to share their screen with the group. What would you do is a software as a service, and when you buy it, you get 12 months of unlimited use. It comes with a content pack or bundle, and all you need to do is choose which you want for your organisation. So the facilitator, they'll set up the game session, and when doing so, it will open a gateway for the online polling. Then players are added to the session using either a QR code or a web address. Once all players are in, you're good to go. So in this particular version, there are up to 40 scenarios to choose from. Let's pick, I don't know, let's say pick 14. We have a teaser statement just to set the frame for the group. So they start to lean on some of their past experiences. So he might be a friend, but he's clearly in the wrong and you caught him. So a little bit more information around the scenario. So you arrive at your workstation to find your best friend and colleague Jason breaching a health and safety process. It's well known, one that everyone's been trained on lots and lots of times, but you know that Jason knows that he is breaching the process. So he's knowingly doing this. So the question that we're asking, what would you do? And as you can see, we've got 4 options available here. And the group will make a choice. They'll make a decision on that situation. But of course, the timer, as you'll see here, is counting down. If they don't make a decision within the allotted time, what's going to happen is they'll get frozen out of the round. They can still take part in the discussion and the debate, and we would absolutely encourage that because it could be something behind the scenario that's caused them not be able to make a decision. Timer will run out, and at the end of that, the votes that have been cast are shown to the group. So everybody can see that we've had 3 responses in this particular example. 2 have gone for option C, and 1's gone for option A. We would have a conversation with the group to explore why they went for the options they went for, but also why did they choose not to vote in those particular options. What we're really interested in is their thinking, their reasoning. How did they arrive at that decision? What assumptions have they been built on? What we're trying to do is get the group towards a consensus, to get them to a shared view of what good actually looks like. But our scoring mechanism runs from -1 to 4, and they're not always the same format. So you could have 2 0-point answers, you could have 2 -1 answers. All of that depends on the scenario and the situation. The points are an engagement tool. They're not there to indicate whether a particular scenario is right or wrong, or a particular response is right or wrong. What they are there for is to cause debate and engagement. People typically stay in it for longer when they know there are points up for grabs, which is the purpose of the process. but it's the discussion that's all important. Each scenario is followed with some round results. That will then transfer into a leaderboard. So what does good look like for us as an organisation? What is the right response that we would want our people doing in this particular situation? And what gets in the way? What stops people doing the right thing when it matters? And then we're looking to create some micro commitments here by asking them, so what then? How will you make sure that you will choose to do the right thing when it matters? And it's that public sharing of doing the right thing that increases the likelihood they're likely to see it through. Here are 3 ways customers are using what would you do in their organisations. Many customers end their meetings with what would you do to add a little development while they have their people together. Another example is a leading law firm uses what would you do during its lunch and learns. You could build it into your development programs like a health and beauty business has. They handpick scenarios to land their key learning points as they turn the theory into practice. A global medtech business has incorporated it into their recruitment process. What would you do enables them to assess behaviours. It's the gamification and psychological safety that makes it disarming, which means they get to see the real person. What would you do saves learning professionals valuable time. There's no design, and everything you need to run a session is included in the packs. What would you do protects your training return on investment. When you build what would you do into development programs, its practical application helps embed the learning, and it's the perfect follow-up tool to keep learning alive and build those all-important new habits. Confidence is everything when learning new skills and knowledge. With what would you do, you quickly boost engagement, confidence and skills through practical application. What would you do is delivered in short burst sessions to fit your organisation's operational needs, which avoids too much time away from the job. So, if you want to turn theory into practice, I've got 3 things for you. Check out the experience section on our website where you'll find a scenario ready to play with your team right now. Download the sample pack and play a few along with your team. Arrange an interactive demo tailored to you where you can invite a group to help you evaluate it for your needs. What would you do? Creates conversations that change behaviour.